Welcome to this training video on the C-Dax Eliminator Weed Wiper. This innovative tool helps control weeds while preserving your pasture by applying herbicide directly to the weeds, not the entire paddock. Before starting, always read the chemical label, safety data sheet, and wear appropriate protective gear. Whilst there is little or no spray drift with this system, you will be handling potentially dangerous chemicals, so be safety smart, never exceed the towing vehicle's load capacity, and ensure tyres are inflated to the recommended pressure. As part of your hire agreement with Midcoast to Tops Landcare, and in accordance with the New South Wales law, you are required to read and operate the C-Dax Eliminator Weed Wiper strictly according to the manufacturer's manual and instructions. Following the manufacturer's guidelines not only ensures your safety and the effectiveness of your weed control, but also helps you meet both your legal and contractual responsibilities. In New South Wales, you are legally required to record all herbicide applications. This includes details such as the chemical used, application rate, location, date, weather conditions, and operator name. Keeping accurate records helps ensure compliance with state regulations and supports responsible chemical use. It is the responsibility of every operator to ensure they hold the appropriate chemical use qualification before applying herbicides. In New South Wales, farmers applying herbicides on their own land are not legally required to hold a licence, but they are legally required to hold a valid training accreditation. Typically, that is AQF Level 3, which must be renewed every 5 years. Operators must also comply with the New South Wales Pesticides Act 1999 and the Pesticide Regulation 2017, which govern the safe and legal use of agricultural chemicals. For each use, review and follow the manufacturer's instructions and consult the safety data sheet for each product to ensure safe handling, storage, and application. By adhering to these requirements, you help protect yourself, others, and the environment. So how does the eliminator work? In simple terms, herbicide from this 50-litre tank is distributed under pressure via a pump inside the tank out to these non-drip woolen carpets, which facilitates maximum contact with upright weeds. Note, the weight of the trailer and the filled tank must never exceed the capacity of the tow vehicle. The power to run the pump and the electronic controller comes from your ATV, quad, or tractor. Attach the alligator clips to the battery, ensuring the polarity is correct. The electronic controller provides precise flow adjustment so you can regulate how much herbicide flows to the woolen carpets. For example, for severe weed infestations, you will need a higher rate of herbicide. Later, we will show how to adjust the flow rate and attach the controller. There is also a bruise bar at the front that assists in chemical uptake. The frame itself is 2.34 meters wide and is designed for maximum strength with minimum weight. The eliminator weighs around 70 kilograms, not including the herbicide in the tank. A toolbox is attached to the trailer so there is somewhere to carry the straps, electrical cables, cable ties, electronic controller, and sundry items when not in use, or the eliminator is being transported. Always check the contents of the toolbox when assuming responsibility for the equipment. Be careful with the eliminator drawbar. It is not safe to be transported in the trailer whilst travelling on roads. Keep it in your vehicle whenever the eliminator is being transported. Attach the drawbar here and safety pin below. To get started, first attach the swivel tow hitch to the eliminator frame securely, as we described previously. Then attach the tow hitch to your farm vehicle. Now connect the cable from the pump to the electronic controller. We discuss controller setting in a moment. In the toolbox, there are cable ties to secure the electrical cable to the drawbar. To calibrate the system for your needs, first set the wiping height based on pasture conditions, typically between 50mm and 350mm, like this. You will need to adjust your towing speed according to weed density. For sparse infestations of easy-to-kill weeds like Scotch thistle, 12 km per hour is effective. That's about jogging pace. For very thick undulating infestations such as Parramatta grass and bracken, slow to between 5 and 8 km per hour, which is more like walking pace. The Eliminator can be towed at up to 15 km per hour, but keep a close eye on ground conditions. Operating at higher speeds on rough terrain may damage the frame. Take care to avoid bouncing or striking fixed objects. Use the electronic controller to adjust chemical flow based on weed density. For your first round, set the control unit to mid-range and visually check the weeds and wipers afterwards. The carpet should be moist but not dripping. Increase the controller setting for denser weed growth, but in most cases, trials show the knob does not need to go above 3. Remember, as long as the carpets are wet, they're applying herbicide effectively. Recommended application rates range from 3.9 to 40.2 litres per hectare. Follow the information in your chemical safety data sheet and refer to the application rate section in the C-Dax Eliminator manual. Attach the control box to your tow vehicle. In this case, we are using a tractor and have attached the controller with cable ties provided in the toolbox. How you attach the controller depends on what vehicle you are using, but regardless, it is your responsibility to ensure that the control unit is secure, cannot fall off or get damaged whilst in use, or when removing at the completion of the task. To complete the test, partially fill the tank with fresh, clean water. You will add the remaining water with your pre-mixed herbicide once the test has been successful. Then, switch on the pump using the control panel. The pump should cycle on and off. If it doesn't, check your electrical connections and try again. Turn the control knob to 7 for the test. Caution. Ensure the sprayer battery cable is connected with the correct polarity. Incorrect polarity will cause the fuse to blow, and repeated applications of power can damage the protection circuit. If the fuse blows, always check cable polarity before replacing fuse. Never use a fuse higher than 10 amps. Now, check that all the hose connections are leak-free and that the carpets become thoroughly wet. If yes, then add your remaining water and pre-mixed herbicide when ready to use. Confirm that each carpet is receiving an even flow and that the wetting is consistent along their entire length. This completes the test. All that remains is to drive at a steady speed, allowing the carpets to make full contact with the target weeds. The patented feed system ensures even chemical distribution, even on uneven terrain. After using the equipment, it's important to thoroughly clean it and check that everything is in order. Let's walk through the key steps. Begin by flushing the tank and wiping system. Set the controller to 7, or couple the pump directly to the battery lead so the pump runs continuously. Fill the tank with clean water and detergent. You will find a container of detergent in the toolbox. Flush once with clean, fresh water and detergent. Then flush twice more with clean water. Each flush should run for at least 4 minutes. While flushing, hose down the carpets to remove any dirt or residue and check for any that are worn or damaged. The flow controller is not waterproof and needs to be removed with this wash-down process. Allow the carpets to dry out completely before transporting the equipment. Wet carpets will attract dust and debris. Next, inspect all bolts and tighten if loose. Then check the tyre pressures. The correct tyre pressure is 15 psi or 100 kPa. When you have completed your maintenance and record keeping requirements checklist, return to the Midcoast to Tops Land Care. Their email is support@midcoasttotops.org.au. This completes our video on the safe operation, maintenance, and transport of the C-Dax Eliminator Weed Wiper, which provides a safe and efficient way to manage weeds and protect your pasture. During the video, we discussed a number of key points, but you must still be familiar with the information in the owner's manual before using the equipment. Note that the manual does cover some aspects that are not relevant for the configuration of our unit.